Greetings fellow ukuleleans, Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new ukulele tutorial. I'd like to talk about a good old song called Tishomingo Blues, 1917, Spencer Williams. Tishomingo is a town way down in Mississippi, and that's where Spencer Williams was from. He was a ragtime and jazz musician, and this song was used for a while there in Prairie Home Companion, that radio show with Garrison Keillor. He since kind of got into a little bit of trouble there with the Me Too movement and all of that, but the song still remains, and it's a good one. So I encourage you to link down below where I have a link to the original recording so you can check that out, and Garrison Keillor's version. But let's learn it on ukulele. It's just a blues song, regardless of what radio show it may or may not be associated with. It's in the key of C, and of course it's a piano song. The lyrics actually say, I hear that old piano down the avenue, so obviously ragtime was played a lot on piano back in those days, and Spencer Williams being a known ragtime musician. So we have a C chord, and that goes to an F chord, and this does this very typical shuffle rhythm where you strum the C chord twice, down and up, and then you grab your F chord while hanging onto your C. I call this the pinky C trick. I've done this quite a few times in the past, but for those of you that may have missed it, you finger a C chord that normally would be your third finger, use your pinky instead. And when you do that, that allows you to hold on to that pinky C while you grab an F chord with your second and first fingers. And that gives you that rocking back and forth C to F thing. That was used so much in ragtime and gospel music and stuff from back then. So that is how to get that piano lick going. That proceeds right to a G7 chord, which I'm sure you all know. 0, 2, 1, 2. Do that again. And you're done with the intro. Then the singing starts, the verse. And that's just a C chord going to an F7 chord for two. This is the first two bars. Then C to C7. Notice how I throw that little chord in between. I go C, C major 7, C7. That's a trick I like to do when I go from a C to a C7. So I put that passing chord in between. So your fingers are doing the 3rd fret, the 2nd fret, and the 1st fret. Slow down, it might sound a little weird, but in context it sounds great. Little line. And then we have F7 for 2 bars, E7 for 2 bars, and don't worry, there are chord diagrams. I won't describe each and every chord in this video, since you can link to the PDF down below, and that will take you to chord diagrams so you can see all of these and learn them at your own pace. I want to keep this short, so I'm not going to talk about each and every finger and fret today. Once you get past that, you got C to E7 to A minor. Now this chord, let's check that out. There's 2 names for it. Some people would call this a G sharp 7. Other people would call it an A flat 7. It really doesn't matter what you call it. Music theory wise, we would call it an A flat 7 in this context. But I actually have seen sheet music online that calls this very chord in this very song a G sharp 7. No big whoop. We can debate all day about these sort of things, but whatever you call it, here it is. It's 1, 3, 2, 3. This is used a lot in songs in the key of C, like Walking After Midnight by Patsy Cline and several other tunes where you have an A flat 7 oftentimes going to a G7. That's a real common trick. Country music does it, pop music does it, and ragtime music does it. Alright, so we had that A flat 7. Then we just do the last 4 bars of the tune. C, G7, F, back to C, and then they throw in that little turnaround. If you want to repeat the song, you would then hit a C7 chord. If you're not repeating the song, just end on C. They do a real short version of it on that Prairie Home Companion. They just play through it once. Sometimes they repeat it while the announcer is announcing the guests that are going to be on the show and that sort of thing. But in a traditional way of playing the song, you would do it, 4 times, 8 times, however many soloists you have. You might have trumpet solos and trombone solos and clarinet solos, piano solos, etc. So if you're going to repeat it, use the turnaround and go to C7. And that brings you back to the top. Or if you're going to end it on C. Now I did an awful lot of stuff in there besides just playing the chords. Right-hand techniques mainly, and a couple of left-hand techniques. I'm not going to go over each and every one of those, but you're probably curious about a couple of them. So the most important one is the shuffle strum, down and up with a swing feel. That's essential to playing blues and playing any kind of music that swings like this. Jazz, ragtime, blues. 1917, that's how music sounded. It had a lot of swing to it. If you played it straight, it wouldn't sound like it. That doesn't work. That might have worked for a Kingston Trio song from the late 50s or Peter, Paul, and Mary from the early 60s, but that is not blues. Blues has a shuffle. Another thing I do besides that down and up shuffle strum is I sometimes hammer my chords on. I'll take, say, a G7 chord. I'll start with open strings. Then my left hand just hammers on the whole chord like this. That gives me a little extra rhythm, a little extra touch that kind of livens things up. See that? I do that a lot. I don't think about it often. I just do it, but when I teach like this, I have to explain what I'm doing, and that's what I do. I hammer on my chords a lot. Occasionally I throw in the triplet strum, which is, I call it the Kimo Hussey triplet, because that's where I learned it. I learned it from one of his videos. Great Hawaiian ukulele player. It goes like this. I'll show you real quick. It's an awesome technique. Down with the index, down with the thumb, up with the index. Triplet, 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 triplet. Takes a lot of practice. It took me a long time to master this. But now it's part of my my arsenal of strums. So again, index down, thumb down, index up, triplet, triplet. And there's so much more. There's that turnaround. I'll tab that out for you. So to keep this short, I'm going to end it here, but link down below to the tab. That'll bring you to my Patreon page. You can see this and lots of other great ukulele things, and some of them are free, some of them you have to become a patron for, but this one I'll slap up there for free so you can see all of it. Alright, ukulele people, you take care. Bye-bye.